Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So I just finished my June read, A Black Cake, which is a novel by Charmaine Wilkerson. And while a lot of persons may focus on the character Eleanor, I just could not stop to ponder on the character Matilda, right? I think she's the most misunderstood character in the entire book. So just a little backstory. So Matilda was she was a black woman that was married to this Chinese man, Mr. Johnny Lin, as they called him. And they had this beautiful little girl named Coventina, right? And the family began to fall apart because Johnny started to have like a gambling problem and he got into serious debt, right? And then things became so desperate, that his wife really escaped him, right? She used to make these black cakes, and this is set in the Caribbean. The theme is set like in the Caribbean. So what she would do is she would make these black cakes. So she saved up enough money where she could leave her Chinese husband, right? And the plan was she was going to send back for her daughter. And so she left with the intention of working, earning money, and then coming back for her daughter, but life had other plans, right? And ultimately, later on in the book, we found out that she died, right? And it just got me to think about how much we judge people without knowing like the full story. And let me tell you, before I found out what happened to her in the book, believe me, I judged this woman so bad because all I was thinking was, who would leave their child? Like, you're married to this man, right? It was your choice to get married to this man. So now things got hard and like you left, and I'm thinking like she's living her best life, over there, wherever she is, in North America. And your daughter, your husband's gambling got so bad and that, you left your daughter. And she's about to be married to a man that's almost twice her senior at the age of like 16, 17, right? And your husband's gambling got so bad that you left your daughter to fight these battles all by herself, where like she's going to marry this man based on the fact that she was I guess indebted. Or how do you say? She was more so promised to this kind of notorious gangster, right? The husband lost his shop and everything, right? And end up having to release his daughter into the hands of this like gangster man because, you left her with a man that you picked to be her father. So I like kind of resented Matilda the whole time because I'm like, sis, where are you? Where are you and why did you do this to your daughter? And so I thought, how could a mother leave her child at first? But then the more I learned about her circumstances, the more complicated that the question became, right? Because here's the thing. It's easy to judge someone when you have no idea like what the ending is about or what you see. You don't know how they got there, right? And how many of us as individuals do that, right? We see something, we take it for face value, and then we run with like a conclusion. Like we say in the Bahamas, we become the judge and the jury, right, of that person. And it made me wonder, how many people have we judged without knowing the circumstances that they were living under? How many difficult decisions have people had to make, like simply to survive, right? And one lesson I took away from Black Cake is that life is uncertain. Like we could make plans, right? Sometimes we think that, we have the information about the circumstance that we might be in right at the present moment. And we also say in the Bahamas, that's what you're going to get when you're tired of what you got. It's like, Miss Matilda, knew that her husband was a gambler, right? That was uncomfortable, of course. And we see that she is basically just fed up. And so she comes up with this plan that she's going to send back for her daughter, right? This is her plan. But then she goes, reaches, they talked about her like reaching Niagara Falls, basically, and then falling over the railing and dying. Like, what? Like, when I read that, I'm like, oh my goodness. So she had every intention to go back to her daughter, but she had like an unfortunate circumstance. And it's just so saddening because there are so many themes throughout the book where you had persons, being abandoned, right? Persons being violated, persons having to keep family secrets, trauma living in the DNA, kind of shame, spanning generations. So one decision really that Matilda made just trickled down in generations. So it was an emotional roller coaster straight throughout this book, but it gets you to think that we as individuals must not always judge circumstances based on, like what we see, right? And it also made me think that we make decisions with the information we have today, but we don't get to see tomorrow before we choose. And that's very powerful. Sometimes staying has consequences. Sometimes leaving has consequences, right? The difficult part is that we rarely know which path would hurt less until years later. And so I really, I battled with this. I just finished the book this morning. And when I found out that Matilda actually died, right? She was keeping in contact with her friend Pearl, like trying to, make arrangements for Covey. Once she would have gone and like tried to make her money or whatever, she would send back for Covey. But to find out that she died was like, oh my goodness, like it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I just want to encourage us to have more empathy as well as individuals. Like, we'll see things for what it is, but I encourage us as persons to really think like, wow, like what is the underlying tone here sometimes? Like, it's easy to make an analysis of something that's before us, but yeah, it encouraged me as well to just have empathy with certain circumstances. But, Covey's life and her children's life was affected by the abandonment that she felt that her mother did to her. She felt abandoned by her mother. She never got the full story, right? She never get to find out what actually happened to her mom. She never really got the truth. She just grew up feeling abandoned. And we see like her dad just made it worse. So what Covey's mom left the dad for continued even after her leaving. So the question is, do you think that Matilda, Covey's mom, should have saved enough money to take her daughter one time with her? Or do you think that she should have stayed and endured because she was married to Mr. Lin? Do you think that the right thing to do would have been to stay, or the right thing to do would have been to leave? And if you were her, what would you have done, right? So if you read Black Cake, that's a conversation that I want us to have down in the comments. Or if you haven't, I've given you a synopsis. So you could tell me, as a mother, as a parent, what would you have done? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments.